So a lot of the family's been curious about the process about taking the boat out of the water. So I thought I'd film it, at least parts of it, and the whole preparation for winter. At this point I've emptied the water system and put antifreeze through it, that pink stuff that's non-toxic. So the whole water system is filled with, well, it's had that flush through it. I try to pump it all out so that there's as little in the water lines as possible. And we pumped out the holding tank for the head and prepped the engine and everything. So now they're actually going to take it out. You can see the big lift. So they have this this opening in the water they call the well, and back the boat in there. You can see the straps on the either side going down in there, and they'll basically lift the boat by those straps. Let me come in a little closer, and there you can see that process. It takes them a little bit to get it situated in there. There's actually marks on the boat, little stickers that they put on where they should lift. They have to be careful where they lift it because it's got to be a well-supported part of the hull, so the fiberglass doesn't crack or something like that. A little closer here. Got to be careful where I walk so I don't fall in the water. And now you can see the straps coming up. We got to get it more centered in there. See, it takes several guys. The other thing you'll see when they actually lift it, the placement of the straps has to be just right too, because on the keel there's a real slope part and it might slip up there, and you know, disasters can happen then. On the back end, on the aft end, you have to be careful to lift it actually by the keel and not by the rudder. So they're right back close to that, but that's you know, where there's better support in the hull is right back around the engine. There's lots of strength there. And the guy on the lift, he's got the controls to move those straps forward and back and up and down, and he can move them all independently. He has a lot of control. It's quite amazing things. There's a company called Travel Lift that makes these things, and that's what just about every marina seems to have, a travel lift. And now it looks like they're just about ready to lift it out of the water. My boat weighs, you know, in this state about 10,000 pounds, so it takes a little bit of strength, and mine's by far not one of the biggest boats in the marina. Other thing is, you'll probably see some stuff on the deck of the boat. There's some, I don't know, dark brown or dark green piles there. That's the canvas cover. So I put that on there, and then the wood that you might see is some of the framework to hold the cover up. So it's a lot easier to pile that stuff on the boat when it's in the water and I don't have to drag it up a ladder. So just laziness on my part. Here it comes up out of the water, and you can see right at the water line, starts to look pretty dirty. Well, it's not terrible, but they get dirty there under the water. Now you can see the shape of the boat underneath. And you can see where they had to lift it here in the front. And they can lift it in the back, where they're right back by the end of the rudder. But they have to lift it all the way up high enough that they can get it, you know, over the top of the well there. So it goes up pretty high. And then there's two tracks in the well there that kind of guides him out. He just drives straight out. Pause and show you the next step. Well, the next step is quite noisy. They're going to power wash it for me, get all that scum off. Oh, we can start on the other side, but I'll show you a little bit more as he gets farther along. I don't want to get wet over here. So here you can see, makes a big difference. Of course, it washes away an awful lot of that really expensive bottom paint, but I gotta put a new coat on every year. I think usually the guy on the marina staff that has the least seniority gets stuck doing this messy job. He gets wet. That's still pretty noisy, but here comes my cradle. And it's just kind of hanging from that trailer, so the wheels aren't part of my cradle. You'll see when they're done, but they come backing it in, and there's the boat. Cleaner. I won't say all clean, but it's much better. And they're bringing the trailer, and they're going to slide it right in there. Looks to me like they're going to have to lift the boat up a little higher, but we'll see. Yep, there we go, up a little. So the noise is because they're power washing this pontoon boat. Boy, is that dirty underneath. So they get the boat all positioned here so that those cradles are all touching. And it sits down in the keel, or the keel sits down in that slot that's in the middle there. In there. It takes a little while to get everything set just right. And you see they turn the pads so that they're lined up. And we don't have to watch this whole process. When they do drop it down there and it's on the cradle, and they take the straps off, then they power wash underneath the straps. So that part will get cleaned too. So it takes a little fidgeting. They'll do that here, and then we'll see it when it's all set in place. So here they go, the boat's all cleaned up. They got it on the cradle, and they're heading down towards the other end where they store all the boats. They pile them in pretty tight, so we'll see where they put me and how much room I got to work with. Alright, I'm going to drive down, follow them down to the other end. Alright, looks like I'm getting put back in a little ways. They just don't have that many boats out yet. It's shocking to me how many more boats they have to go, and next week's the last week for Haulout. So when not many boats are out, then I get stuck back a little farther. And it just means in the spring when I want to go in early, which I always do, they got to dig me out. I also don't like being under these trees. They just leave a mess on the boat, but I'm going to get it covered today, so hopefully that'll help. So there we are, all situated. You can see the part that's just the cradle and what was trailer before. You can see I got a little bit of stuff bottom paint to clean off the top of the hull, but overall it's pretty clean, sitting pretty level. I have to kind of pay attention to how level it is. In my boat, the drains for the cockpit are towards the front of the cockpit, towards the bow, so I have to put it just a few degrees bow low, which it looks like it is, so it'll be fine. Now to get it covered. The wind's supposed to just howl today, like gust to 40 miles an hour, but it's not happening yet. So I may get lucky, may get the cover on or mostly on before the wind picks up, and that makes it a lot easier. But it's time to get the ladder out and start working. Okay, this is the boat all put away for winter. It's not a thing of beauty, but it protects it. I made a lot of modifications to cover over the years, trying to fix where it doesn't fit well, and some of the fixes work well, some of them, you know, you can only fix so much. So it's covered. Should keep a lot of the snow weight off over the winter. You can see it doesn't come over the rail like I'd like it to. Someday I might address that, but the cover was made by the previous owner, and he and a friend kind of drew up plans and came up with a design, and then just sent it to somebody to sew it. And so they sewed it to the plans, and if the plans aren't perfect, you don't get a perfect cover. Usually, you know, you keep fitting it to the boat as you're making it, but that's hard to do when you mail order it. So anyway, it's covered. Put away the ladders and pack up the car and head home.